Hare Krishna, Smita. Well, everyone.
Hello everyone, and all this. How are you all? Hi Munmun. I was actually talking to somebody else, so I couldn't. Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes. Hare Krishna.
So let's start today's class. Mm. Life is magical indeed. Love and I, love and I have a thing going on, and it is the most magical and exciting relationship anyone has ever had, can ever have. I have to share it with you how I live each day with this knowledge. So Rhonda is basically sharing her um, how she lives each day. When I wake up each morning, I'm grateful to be alive and for everyone and everything in my life. I spend 15 minutes every morning feeling love and sending it out to the world. So we did this in the magic class also, right? That as soon as you wake up, in fact, what she has done is every single chapter that she has done in the magic book, she has created in the magic book, is basically her own experiences of what she did the 2 years of her life, 2 to 3 years of her life before she actually wrote that book. Even before she wrote the book, she did that movie, The Secret Movie. And then after that, she started writing the secret book, and then eventually she wrote the gratitude, the magic book. So she's waking up each morning, and then she's grateful to be alive every single day, which is what we have discussed in some of our classes, right? We should not treat everything like we are entitled to. Yes, I deserve these things. That is why I'm having some of those things. Unless we take the time to recognize, I have so many things in my life that I did not ask for consciously, but they have been given, right? So many things, they have just been given. Parents are just given, relatives are just given, and then a house is just given. It is given. It's like maybe you earned money, and then a house just happened for you, and then a maid just happened, food just happened. So we are not taking the time to thank for all of these things. And then when do we actually understand that understand their importance? Only when it is taken away from our life. So like when I talk to my clients and I ask how much of gratitude you're doing, yes, ma'am, I did gratitude for these good things in my life. What about all the things that are also helping you, but they are looking at it as bad? What about all of those things? No, I'm not actually giving gratitude, because egotistically, we feel that we are hurt. Why should I give gratitude? Only when only when I get something, I will give gratitude back. That is what we think. But actually, when we do gratitude, we are doing gratitude because that is our true nature, to be grateful. So whether you get any kind of service from the universe, whether it is somebody shouting at you also, you still need to be grateful, because you're here only for experiences. And there is, you're not here only for good experiences, you're here for bad experiences also. So even for that experience also, you need to be grateful, because gratitude is it should become our nature. And which is why we are practicing gratitude to become our nature. In fact, it is already our nature, but it is just that we have forgotten that it is our nature, which is why we are trying to go back to homeostasis, which is our natural state. And the more we move towards our natural state, like we get better and better. Like, for example, when we do detoxing and all of those things, right? And then we get back to doing raw foods or juices or something like that, automatically the body starts to clean up, and then you get back to your normal routine, normal way of life and things like that. Slowly, you're going to go back to that homeostasis, right? Something like this. Gratitude is more like juicing for your emotional and mental body. So the more you keep doing it, the more you're going back to homeostasis, which is your natural thing. And why? Because you're saving a lot of energy, which you would have drained by complaining, by blaming, by comparing, by expectations, and all of those things. So we are not draining there, but we are doing something positive, so that, and then our life, the energy is being saved. In fact, we already have a lot of energy for self-realization. We already have a lot of energy. It's already within us. But we are spending all that energy that we have on different energy vampires. And now what we are trying to do when we do gratitude, we are just cutting off all those energy vampires, and then automatically living our natural state, which is doing gratitude. So the more you live in your natural state, we just get back to that homeostasis and then save so much of energy, and automatically we are getting to that balance. When I wake up each morning, I'm grateful to be alive and for everyone and everything in my life. I spend 15 minutes every day feeling love and sending it out to the world. So how do you send out love to the world? Okay, so for anything, maybe you can just keep your right hand on your heart, and then left hand on top of it, because when we touch the heart center, then we are connecting to the soul, because the soul resides in the heart center. So which means at a Atma level, at a soul level, we are connecting to the universe. We are connecting to that supreme consciousness. So when we keep our hands here, and then we say, dear God, thank you so much that you have given me a new life today. And for all the people, my family, my friends, and then all my, let's say my maid, and then you can list all of those people in your life. Thank you so much for all those people. Thank you so much for my children who constantly, what do you say, give me opportunities to cook new things, and then keep my passion alive, to create new recipes, to create new dishes, and then do some challenging dishes and recipes and all of that. And then thank you so much for all the things that I'm constantly getting in terms of awareness every single day, whether it is while washing the clothes, or let's say while washing the vessels, or let's say when the maid is sweeping, I'm so thankful for her because the house is so clean. So there are so many things that you can constantly keep going on and on and on and on like this. At least 15 minutes, put a timer on your watch and keep talking, keep talking, keep talking 15 minutes every morning. So when you keep talking like this every single morning, obviously you're thinking of the good things in your life. And for areas that are challenging in your life, you should focus on seeing good in that also. Okay, so then what you're doing is you're training your mind to constantly look at good in everything, whether it is bad or whether it is good. Typically, ego sees something as bad and something as good. But when we are connecting to the heart center and we want to actually connect at a soul level, we are not differentiating between good and bad. We are saying at that holistic level, everything is one for me. And I am giving the same feelings to both of you, both my children, the good creations and my bad creations, both are good children's only for me, good children for me. And then I'm going to take care of you equally, and I'm going to give gratitude to you equally. So that is how then you put your hands out above like this and just say, thank you, God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So what happens? You are actually taking the energy from your heart center, and then you already have you have minor chakras here in your hand. So you're just channeling, you're just opening yourself, and then you're saying, you're just spreading that heart centered energy with where you generated so much of love in your heart now. And then you are basically sending that out to the universe. And then that is going to magically, you can bring that heart center back. Do like this and say thank you, thank you, thank you. And then come back to your heart center and again say thank you, thank you, thank you. So typically doing this is more like a circle. You are a part of the circle. Okay. So that you're creating an energy loop here through your hands. So that is how they send love to the entire world. World means entire cosmos. Because you are a part of that, no? You are a part of the cosmos, right? I imagine my day. I imagine and feel love for my day going well. I imagine and feel love for each thing in my day going well before I do it. I place the force of love ahead of me in everything I do by feeling love inside me as much as I can before I do anything. I don't open emails or packages, make or take important phone calls, or do anything unless I'm feeling good. So she's constantly trying to get to a good state before she does any work. Because when she's in a good state, she'll be in a better sense of mind to be able to receive whatever experience that is coming to her. She'll be, see, feeling good means what? She's constantly trying to get to her heart center. She's trying to get to her place of love before she does anything. Where are we? Most of the time, if we are not aware, we are in our ego. We are sitting in our ego, and then we are handling life. But what, and it is not easy to get to our heart center, or let's say, it's not like you should imagine yourself to sit on the heart or something. That is not what we are talking about. When she says feeling good, means she's going to tell herself few sentences where she says, yes, everything that is coming to me is always good. So when she's telling that, she's basically affirming inside herself that life is happening for me. This entire life is actually created for me, just so that I can get more and more wisdom and then get to my self-realized state. So she is constantly remembering that to do all of these things. And then obviously, even when a bad email comes, when something is not good, there again, she's training herself to see good in that also, right? So obviously, when you are, how will you remember that you have to do all this? Only when you're already in a good state. You cannot, when you're very angry, you will never remember all of these things, because then ego will be very strong and your energy will be very low. At that time, you can't practice all this. You have to practice before you get to that state. Before you get to that state, you have to practice a lot. And in the course of practice, in the transition period, little, you'll actually get to betterment. Otherwise, until that whole transition happens, it takes some time, because habits die hard, they say, right? Old habits die hard. So it will take time. And see, she's practicing every day. She's forcing herself. Discipline. Wherever there is discipline, there are good habits. When you're disciplining yourself in doing certain tasks, even when you don't like the discipline, eventually you'll actually love the discipline. That is how it works. When I get dressed in the morning, I feel enormous gratitude for my clothes. To save time, I also ask the question, what is the perfect outfit to wear today? A few years ago, I decided to play the law of attraction and my wardrobe. Instead of trying to work out whether this skirt will go with that top, and sometimes putting things on and taking them off again because they didn't work together, which attracts more things not working, I decided to hand my styling over to the force of love. So all I did was imagine what it would feel like if everything I put on looked great. After imagining it, feeling it, and asking the question, what will I wear today? I now stand in awe at how good my clothes look and feel when I get dressed. So she's not visualizing her dress. Okay, she's not talking about visualization here. She's talking about the feeling. She's imagining herself feeling good already. And she's already seeing herself, maybe she's seeing herself, I don't know. Maybe she's seeing herself feeling already good, seeing maybe her looking at the mirror and then looking at her face and then saying, wow, you look so great and all of that. So she's putting, see, wherever good feelings come, right, the outcomes are typically good, because your mind is in a better state to perceive all your experiences. So here also, she was feeling good for everything. And then when she asked the question, what will I wear? And whatever she felt like picking up like this, she wore, and she actually felt good after wearing it. So it is to practice. And how these ideas will come? Only when you work with the universe more, when you trust the universe more, when you have faith. Depending on our ego is anyway there. We are very good at it. Right from the time when we have taken our first body on earth, we have been depending on our ego. So there is no fun in that. The fun in that is to go and do something more spontaneous, do something that you wouldn't do on a general basis. And then on top of that, add good feeling and see how the matchmaking happens. I stay aware when walking down the street and notice the people passing me. I send thoughts and feelings of love to as many people as I can. See, here when she says feeling of love, she's not doing anything more than what she has already taught. She's trying to put, let's say, magic dust or blessings and things like that. I look at each person's face, feel love inside me, and imagine them receiving it. So what she's doing here, she's looking at each face, and then she's bringing a whole lot of gratitude and what do you say? I don't know what is feeling of love that she's constantly talking about here. Maybe she has felt so much of gratitude, and there is a different feeling of love that she also feels, which actually gratitude teaches, right? Feeling of love is something that is very overwhelming. You can't describe that state of feeling. In very few experiences that I have in terms of gratitude, I have felt a lot of love. Where even if you express that to somebody, you're not satisfied. After expressing also, you're not satisfied. There is still a lot of emotional outbursts that you're actually feeling. And it's like, so when she's feeling so much of love, then when she looks at each person and then she says thank you, and then maybe she's thinking of their heart receiving it, or their hands receiving it. So there must be some way of her imagining that. And then I know the force of love is the source of abundance of money, happiness, relationships, great health, and anything anyone loves. So I send people love because I know in doing that, I'm sending them whatever they need. When I see a person who seems to have a particular need, someone who can't afford to buy something that they want, for instance, I send them thoughts of abundance of money. If a person seems upset, I send them happiness. If someone seems stressed and they are rushing, I send them thoughts of peace and joy. Whether I'm shopping for groceries, walking down the street, or driving, whenever I'm among people, I do my best to send love as much as possible. I know too that whenever I see anyone with a particular need, it is also a message for me to be grateful for the money, happiness, and the peace and joy in my own life. So apart from being grateful, she's blessing them with a lot of abundance of money and happiness and all of those things. Because why is she seeing that in the first place? Because there is, the universe is showing her, maybe it is showing her that there are probably some areas of her karmic life which is coming to show her that, see, here there is no light, here there is no light, there is no light. So she's just sending light to all those areas, because the world is a mirror reflection of herself only, and the world we see is a mirror reflection of ourselves. So when we give love, what did we have learned? That all these things come into like advertisements, like a catalog in front of us. How we choose to say yes or no to that catalog is where the law of attraction is, and we have all learned that, right? So when she's choosing to send love wherever she sees the lack of love, it means that those areas lacked love, and which is why even those scenes are coming to her in the first place. So she's sending love to everything. So the more she gives, what happens? The more she will get love back into her life, in the form of in the form of money, in the form of happiness, in the form of relationships. Everybody is giving her love. Money, how does it give love? Through abundance and prosperity. Relationships, how does it give love? By people. I have been somewhere. Am I still there?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So like this, she's just giving and giving love to everything, irrespective of bad situations. See, bad situations also she gave love. Good situations also in her life, she's giving love, right? So that has become a standard practice. When I'm in a plane, I send love to everyone. When I'm in a restaurant, I send love to the people and to the food. In dealing with organizations or companies, or when I'm shopping in stores, I send love to all of them. When I get into the car to drive somewhere, I imagine arriving back home happy and well, and I say thank you. When I'm about to drive, I ask, what is the best road to take? Each time I walk into and out of my house, I say thank you for my home. When I'm shopping at the supermarket, I ask, what else do I need? And do I have everything? I always receive the answers. See, by the time she has written this book, she has already practiced a lot. Okay. From my experience, I can tell you that if she's getting the answers and she's able to be so intuitive, it means that she has already done a whole lot of work in understanding what love is, which means she has become a PhD of gratitude already. And then she's got to a higher state of understanding beyond gratitude. She's not doing gratitude because she is going to get something back. She's doing gratitude anyway. In everything, every aspect of her life, she knows that whatever is coming to her experience is something that she's not taking it as an entitlement. She's thinking that it is coming to her because of some learning that she had to do, and she didn't have to get that, but it is coming to her and she's learning from that. And there is no money, there is nothing she's spending for all of those things, and that is why she is grateful. And she's practiced this so much in her life, which is why she's able to get her answers. And even if you ask, yesterday I think we spoke about giving those questions to the universe, which is exactly what it is. See, if she says, what else do I need? If she's not able to understand, rather immediately there are no thoughts of, oh yes, yeah, you need those, you need that vegetable, you need this vegetable. Some ideas will come like that. So if that is not coming, it means that you are not still in that energy or that frequency to be able to get those answers as soon as you ask that question. Which is why I said yesterday, send those questions anyway. Maybe not that supermarket thing, some general questions that you only have, send those questions anyway. Someday you will definitely get those answers, and you will also be at a state of receiving and understanding for those answers. Like for me, when I ask I don't ask questions like supermarket part and all. Anyway, these are good ideas, but I don't ask. But then I ask something like, what is the role of the ego? What is the role of this? What is the role of that? Why does this happen? Why do they feel like that? So when I keep asking that question to my own mind, whether today or tomorrow, I'm going to get those answers. So, but we should ask questions, because how else will you communicate to the universe? You are here to communicate with the universe, to communicate with your own Atma, right? So how will you even communicate unless you ask questions and get rid of that ignorance, go beyond that ego? You have to do that. You have to learn, you have to try to communicate, whether you get those answers or not. One-way communication you have to do. Usually you'll get answers, but you may not be in a state of receiving those answers also. But you ask anyway. Certainly, knowledge is a lock and its key is the question. So, which is what we learned here. Every day I ask many questions, sometimes hundreds of questions I ask. How am I doing? What should I do in the situation? What is the best decision? What is the solution to this problem? Which choice is the best choice for me to make? Is this person or the company right? How can I feel better? How can I lift my feelings higher? Where do I need to give love today? What can I see that I'm grateful for? And see, how do you get better in asking questions? Only when you start asking questions. That is where your energy, where your focus goes, energy flows. And wherever your energy flows, you get better. So obviously, if you have to get better in anything, you have to put more and more focus on practicing that. When you ask a question, you are giving a question. And you must receive an answer.
Sir, can we ask the question related to
Munmun, can you please note down your questions and ask me in the end? Because when I'm in that flow, right, as soon as you just come, I sort of feel like
Sorry. Okay.
you can ask later. That way we will be able to go with the flow and then finish some portion and all that. Okay. When you ask a question, you are giving a question and you must receive an answer. But you have to be alert and aware to see or hear the answers to your questions. See, hear the answers means somebody will be talking about that. Maybe in a YouTube video, you're going to understand those answers. Many times in my own life, I would have a certain question in my mind. And when I would have gone to a Gita class, from there, I would have got the answers. Or when I've gone to some other class, or when I've seen some YouTube videos, or in some discussion, or in some WhatsApp thing, somehow it will come. But you should obviously keep asking. You should want to communicate with yourself. You may receive the answer through reading something, hearing something, dreaming something. Sometimes suddenly you will just know the answer to the question, but you will always receive the answer. Always trust what comes to your inner knowing. Always. Okay, there is no right or wrong about what comes from inside as a knowing, or like when you connect your question or your doubt with something that you heard, right? For example, yesterday, Sita was telling that they did that Rudrakshi Mala, and then she understood that something was positive and something was not too positive. See, how did she get that connection? She saw something and got that connection, right? So that came from inside her. So you should trust. So what did I tell yesterday? Sita, this, whatever you're seeing and whatever you're doing is very much valid in your universe. I told her. So like that, things will keep coming. And for me, what was the lesson? Oh, Sita is telling something. Maybe what is the typical ego self, what it will do? It will say, no, that is not how you have to think. Whatever I think is right, I will force them to do. I will force them to think in that way. But no, that is not what how a soul thinks. The soul will understand that whatever it comes to me is already right. Whatever I think in this new situation also, I am right. They are also right, I am also right. So we are just accepting everything in our life and accepting and allowing everything in our life. So that is what a soul will do. So, which is why I told her, yes, that is also perfectly okay. Everything is okay. Like that. So if I have misplaced something like my keys, I ask, where are my keys? I always receive the answer, but it doesn't stop there. When I find my keys, I ask, what is this telling me? In other words, why did I misplace my keys? Because there is a reason for everything. There are no accidents or coincidences. Sometimes the answer is slow down. You are rushing. Sometimes the answer is your wallet is not in your handbag. And I look around in the room where I found my keys and there is my wallet. Sometimes I don't receive an answer right away, but as I'm walking out of the door, the phone rings and the appointment that I was going to has been cancelled. Immediately, I know that misplacing my keys was happening for a positive reason. They had to slow her down. The universe had to slow her down just so that she receives that phone call. I love the way life works, but you can't receive any answers or feedbacks unless you ask questions. And you have to be in that energetic state to even connect the answers when it comes. There are, like, when I go to some meetings, right? And they think that the teacher is very energetically very good or something like that. People come to them with questions. Or you've seen people going to astrologers and all that. No? Anyway, astrologers are anyway seeing it with some science behind it. But when you go to people with, why did, for example, take our many people who do all these magics and all that, right? Magic tricks and all they do. Third eye tricks and all they do, right? Like they say, oh, look at the apple, and then they close their eyes and like apple, they just bring an apple like this, or they just give one vibhuti like this. All of those things they keep doing, right? So why do people go behind them is because you have not realized that you have that potential. So when they have that potential, which means they know everything, they can read my life. So I will go ask all my questions and they will give me answers. So human tendency is to always look up to the people who are better than them and always look down upon people who are not as good as them most of the time. Okay. So, which is why you should always ask questions yourself and you should only work on becoming energetically high to receive your answers. Today or tomorrow, you will get the answers anyway. But either way, we also know what all we have to do in our life, practice some fundamental principles, and then just keep living life the way it is, and then practice gratitude and all of those things. So over time, that energy will get balanced. Sometimes life may throw some tricky things my way, but I know when it happens, I attracted it to me. I always ask how I attracted any problem. So I learned from it, and so I won't do it again. So, like I said, she has already connected with that inner self. And there is a lot of back and forth going on. And it comes to every single person. And it comes when you consistently be on a certain path. You believe in every single path. Whether it is chanting, you will go to that path. Whether it is gratitude, you will go to that path. Whether it is, let's say, some seva that you're doing, you'll go to that path. Whether it is, let's say, constantly doing bhakti, you'll go to that path. Every single thing which you think will take you to that Paramatma, it will get you to that state. There is no two ways about it. Because there are so many paths to get to that path. But the only issue is people don't do it consistently. Years together, okay, months together, years together, you have to do it. Maybe now not years together, but yeah, definitely you have to be consistent and disciplined. Once the universe understands that you are disciplined and consistent and you will not let go, whether you get results or no, you will not let go, then only help is going to come. Until then, help will not come. If you are waiting for results, then you have to keep waiting for results. It will not work. In return for everything I receive, I give my love to the world as much as I can. I look for the good in everything and in everyone. I'm grateful for everything. And as I give love, I feel the force of love sweeping through me, filling me with such love and joy that it takes my breath away. I told you, right? It is a very, very overwhelming emotion. Giving love and all of those things will come only after a certain point of constantly giving gratitude. It will come to that level. But you have to constantly keep doing it. And it is very overwhelming. Like few times I've actually experienced it. It is really overwhelming, and you will never feel satisfied, even when you are telling this to somebody, even when you're writing this. Like many times when I've expressed my emotion, when I've expressed my sharing in the group, I would have shared in that state only. But after that also, it won't go. Rather, it is, you, of course, when we are not so evolved, we'll keep doing all the sharing and all of those things. But then when a person is constantly feeling that, they will get to a stable state over a period of time. And then they will live that state. It will come over a period of. It's all a level of growth. It's all a stage by stage level of growth. When you try to give love back for everything you received, the force of love multiplies, and that love multiplies that love and returns even more love to you. When you feel this happen just once in your life, you will never be the same again. Love will do anything for you. You can harness the force of love to help with anything in your life. You can hand over anything you need to remember and ask the force of love to remind you of it at the perfect time. You can have the force of love be your alarm clock and wake you up at the time you want. The force of love will be your personal assistant, money manager, personal trainer, relationship counselor, and it will manage your money, your weight, your food, your relationships, or any task that you give it. See, you are the soul, right? You are the Atma. And the whole issue in our life is we are not connected to the Atma. And if you are already connected to your Atma because of the work that you have done like this, then you are already there. You are already there. It's like there is no need for you to suffer in your life. There is no ups and downs in your life. Ups and downs happens because of misunderstanding. So now there is no misunderstanding anymore. Plus, because there is constant communication happening, your ego and the inner Atma is constantly communicating, and the ego is aligned to the Atma. And there is no me, my, I, me, mine, nothing is there. That ego has dissolved. There is no my, me, mine, or any such thing. It's like there is already a whole of surrender which has already happened here, which is why she's getting love to anything, right? So there is always a constant communication, and she's able to intuitively follow the guidance that she's getting, and she's using the guidance in everything. It's like there is, now you see, will she be disappointed if somebody is not talking to her, if her children are not listening to her, if something doesn't go well? Is she unhappy? No, because she's in touch with herself. This is what is called self-love. Self-love means you're in constant communion with yourself, and you understand the value of yourself, value that yourself brings to the table, how much there is communication with the self, how much of advice the self gives. So the ego is always now bending to the Atma, and it is in constant communication. This is the best state to be in. You will
Smita, what
not
did you
anything.
say? Your ego and your inner?
Your soul.
Oh.
But it will only do these things for you when you unite it through love, appreciation, and gratitude. It will only do these things for you when you join forces with it through love and let go of your white knuckle grip on life in trying to control everything that was your own, which is exactly what it is, right? Which is your ego. Your ego wants to control everything. It is not easy because we have practiced this right from the first body that we have taken on earth. Because initially what happened, when the Atma wanted to experience this earthly life, it couldn't come, it couldn't descend down to that level of that low level that we currently are in, the high density a very huge density space. It couldn't experience this duality. So what it did was only a portion of that light is now attached to this body. It's connected to the body, which means the energy into this body is coming only, let's say 5 to 10% is coming into this body. And then that based on that 5 to 10%, some divinity that we are displaying outside through this body, whatever good feelings and whatever goodness that we are able to display, soul states that we are able to display is because of that connection that we have. And where is the rest of it coming from? Let's say 5% came from the soul state. Where is the rest of it coming from? Ego. Because only with that soul state, if you go into the world, this body will not be protected. This body will not feel that I belong to earth at all. Because it always doesn't belong to earth. No, its state is pure love. So in that pure love state, when all the problems and all are going on in front of you, it may not even be able to comprehend it. It doesn't know that bad stuff at all. So if to understand duality, it had to forget itself and let the ego take over. And in that taken over state of ego, okay, the ego has practiced a lot to protect you from people who are scolding you, and then you throw anger at them. And then when children are not, with children, by attachment, it is protecting yourself. Like, so this small portion that was attached to this body has now got deluded based on what the ego taught it. That much only wisdom it has. And that wisdom will constantly keep changing as it takes multiple bodies. And over time, what will happen? That wisdom will increase means ego will decrease. If the ego was 90% in the past, and this was 10%, what will happen? This will become 20%, ego will become 80%. This will become 30%, ego will become 70%. Over time, 50-50. Then over time, this will become 60 and this will become 40. So as the gap increases, the ego is more in the listening mode, is in the fall. It will become a follower. Before it was a master. Now, then over time, it will become the follower. When this has increased, what does it mean is, this is now getting to that 100% state, which is it is connecting to the Purnatma, which is a self-realized state. So we are eventually going to that state. For that, we need to reduce our ego. So which is what they are trying to tell. You need to let go of your white knuckle grip on life and trying to control everything. Why does the ego want to control? It's trying to protect this body. That is the nature of the ego. It has been, this body has the ego just so that because the soul was not in control. It was very little portion of that light was there. It was not enough to sustain in this space to experience all these things, to experience anger, to experience fear, to experience, let's say, jealousy, to experience all those things. It needed something that is not soul at all. And when it was experiencing all that, it took that form. It believed all those things. And the journey is, as you start going, you'll slowly get over that belief, because you're now going to face the opposite of it. First, you will receive anger. First you will give anger, then you'll receive anger. So in this constant give and take in multiple lives, ego will learn to surrender. And then your soul state will start improving. So this is called light. So the more you bring light into your life, the more ego will bend. Ego will reduce. Now there is no need of protection because soul state is increasing. It knows to protect itself. There is no need of protection because everything that is coming to me is for my good only. That is soul state. What is ego trying to do? This is not good. This is good. All that is ego. Duality is majorly ego, which is why we say, get over your duality, because there is no end. If you constantly into the ego, that Atma will constantly stay deluded. In Gita, they call it Vimudatma. Vimudatma means it is a deluded Atma. It doesn't know any better. Because that is what the ego has taught it. Over a period of time only, it is going to get knowledge, apply that knowledge through this body, and then gain the wisdom, gain the wisdom, gain the wisdom. And then that light will increase. Light will increase, light will increase, and then over time, it will merge with the Purnatma and become 100%. And then ego is absolutely zero at that time, which is what you've seen enlightened masters, right? They're all in that zero state. And there is no controlling. So the more we live that soul state, the better and better ego will surrender. So learn to surrender in many of your common happenings in your life, especially family, your day-to-day happenings. See and focus where all you can apply some of these things, where all you're actually trying to control. The more you're trying to control, the more energy also is actually used. So this is called where you resist, you are persisting. And there is a lot of energy flow that is going there. And wherever there's energy flow, this we are ascending like this, right? That will join, it will come down. So there is no ascension. It is all descending. Ego is increasing. Okay. So there is always this balance, ego and soul balance, soul light balance. So the more you are connected to Purnatma, the more you practice your soul state, the less ego will be. For that, you need to let go of ego. Consciously, you need to let go of ego. Like for that, a lot of gratitude will help because you're pushing the ego down when you do gratitude. And it's going to become a habit. And the more you practice the habit of putting your ego down, which rather you're telling the ego, it's okay, calm down. You don't have to protect me. Ego is not bad. Okay. Ego is not at all bad. You survived on earth because of ego. You need to be very grateful to your ego. It is a very, very good tool. Because of ego, you have the wisdom that you have today. So never think that ego is bad. Even when you are jealous of somebody, which is why they say, don't curse yourself. Don't be kind to yourself. All that, why do they say? Even when you have all of those things. It's because you have practiced through your ego for such a long time. And now suddenly you want to change me, it won't change. Again, you need to do this act of slowly, like petting your dog. How do you pet your dog? Slowly you do this, keep doing this, slowly the dog will sleep off. Like that. Okay. As your faith is strengthened, so that faith is very important. Faith and trust, which is what we do in surrender, right? That faith and trust is extremely important. For that, you need to accept that whatever is happening in my life is for my good. And then you have to allow things to flow the way it is supposed to be. Like, for example, what is my new learning these days, or rather new area of focus? My daughter is going to the US, and I was constantly focused on health, right? In the last, many years, like more than a decade. So I keep thinking, what will she eat? What does she get there? All of those things, right? See, that is again, my ego and my attachment. It is a new thing that is coming to me. Before it was not there. Oh, I thought, oh yeah, I don't have any attachment. This is exactly when it will show, hey, you have attachments. Now take this scenario and tell me what you will do. See how I'm going to watch you, see how you're going to react. So I'm constantly asking my husband, hey, did you check on that? Did you go to that website and see what and all they are serving in the canteen? It's a new country. So obviously, I don't know what all you get in those universities or whatever it is. So obviously, I'm thinking in that direction. And I also see, what is this? I'm not getting that information. So how can I send her some pre-mixes or something like that? And I need to know what kind of ingredients to use, whether she will be able to cook there, whether she won't be able to cook there. And should I send her, should I go shop for for some dresses? What all should I shop for? So what is my ego trying to do? It is trying to, there is attachment. Now it is trying to make me feel more protected by protecting my belief systems that she is going to be safe. And for the belief system to believe that, yes, she is going to be safe, these are the criteria and conditions that have to be met. Yes, she is going to get better food. So I need to receive some news or some information that these are the facilities available in the canteen or whatever it is, and she's going to be okay. I am actually watching myself, and there are so many areas where I'm still not able to control myself. I just say, oh, something, right? So these are all although I get all this knowledge and I get this awareness and all that, practice is where the wisdom is going to come. And practice is not easy. It's like you're going against gravity and you're doing it. And so every single person will have these challenges. How much ever knowledge they have, they will all have these challenges as long as we still have an ounce of duality within us. And how do we know whether we have duality or no? Only by all these experiences that are coming. And that is when you will see yourself displaying all your ego in royalty, right? But at this time, instead of cursing yourself, see, I knew all this, but still I'm acting like this. Shame of me, shame on me. I should never do that. I only have practiced doing all these things and across so many lives. Why should I curse myself? Why should I say I'm not performing or something like that? Yes, some areas, like especially with family, immediate family, it takes a lot more time to fix those areas, because which is exactly why they became our family, so that they can keep giving and displaying all of those things that are inside us, right? So faith and trust will definitely get us to the next and next and next level. As your faith is strengthened, you will find that there is no longing, the need to have a sense of control, and the things will flow as they will, and they will flow with them, and you will flow with them, and that you will flow with them, and to your great delight and benefit. So which is what we have seen in the surrender aspects also, right? When you believe and you trust and you remove your sense of control, only then it will come to you. Only then what you like only will come to you. If it doesn't come also, you will believe that, yes, it's still, basically there is a sense of satisfaction, there's a sense of goodness, and there's a sense of gratitude after every single surrender, most of the time. Like 99% of the time, you will always have that sense of gratitude. And many of us who've tried, we have definitely experienced it. Unite forces with the greatest force in life, and whatever you want the force of love to do for you, imagine having it, feel having it with absolute love and gratitude, you will receive it. Like, for example, health. Our ego thinks that if I don't have a very clean, rather if my gut is, if my stomach is not such that where I can eat every single junk food on the street, I'm not 100% healthy. It should be able to digest every single thing. Or, okay, basics. Let's say it should be able to digest, let's say, rice and the chawal and dal and all of those things. But if it is not able to digest, oh yeah, I'm actually not okay, my stomach is not okay, it doesn't digest this, it doesn't digest that. Who's telling us all these things? It is our ego. Because ego comes with a lot of belief systems. It has only formed belief systems based on experiences. It has given that Atma, the Jivatma, all these belief systems. And the Jivatma is reflecting all that emotions into your body. And now your body is not working well because there is a belief system which says if you can't eat rice, then so that is not good. And it would have taken time to get to that level. So what this is saying is, you have a body, you have some amount of health, you are able to digest something or the other. So believe that you already have the perfect health. Believe. It's not imagination, it's not visualization, it's not manifestation, nothing. Trust that what you have is what you need, what you deserve. On top of that, if there are some challenges in your gut, it is because of some lesson that you have to learn, maybe some lack of love in your life, which is why you have that lack of love in the gut also. So to that area, you need to give a lot of love and all that. So trust and faith is extremely important. That feeling for the things that you don't have, you should feel that you already have it. And that genuine feeling, the moment it comes, next moment itself, your gut is done. The issue is to get to that genuine feeling, the belief. We need to believe that we already have everything, and only then that state is going to come. So we need to constantly work on that belief system. Use your imagination and think of all the things the force of love can do for you. See, when they say force of love, you can say God. Okay, God is like that. They say, why are you going behind the golden egg? Go behind the hen. They say, right? the hen that is laying the golden egg. So like that. So go behind that source instead of going behind the things that source created. If the creation itself is so good and so attractive, then imagine how attractive the creator must be. So they are saying go behind the creator, don't go behind the creation. Use your imagination and think of all the things the force of love can do for you. The force of love is the intelligence of life and the universe. If you can imagine the intelligence that can create a flower or a cell in the human body, then you will appreciate that there isn't a single question you can ask that you won't receive the perfect answer for whatever your situation is. Love will do anything for you, but you will have to unite with it through love to realize the power in your life. See, how will you know a person? Only when you start to invest your time in understanding that person. Once you understand that person, the good qualities in that person will attract you more and more to spend time with that person. And the more you spend time with that person, the connection and the feeling and the friendship and all that will increase. And the more the friendship increases, over time it will become love. I'm not talking about male female love here. I'm talking about in general. This is how person to person experiences will happen. Even with a dog, it is like that, right? Even with any other living creature, this is how it is. Even with a plant, people are able to get to this state. So you should, even with the source, even with the creator that is within you, the Atma within you, first, that is why gratitude is very important. The moment you practice gratitude and you don't get any feelings, it means that you are in a negative state. And that negative state, the emotions also will not come. You need to still keep doing for you to come to the neutral state. And slightly, when you get over the neutral state, then emotions are going to flow. That the meaning of that gratitude, the value of that gratitude will actually show in your inner feeling. You'll feel really good inside for that gratitude that you are actually expressing. And only there, and this may not be perfect, this may not be, what do you say, equal in all areas of your life. In some area, you may get feeling, in some area, you may not get feeling. But this is exactly where you need to understand, oh, I'm not getting a feeling in this area, which means my investment is low. So over time, so this actually is building your relationship with that source. And she's done a lot, which is exactly why she's using the word love, but we are still in the word called gratitude. What difference does it make? Out of clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. In the middle of a difficulty lies opportunity. Albert Einstein. So in any challenge, look for good things is what this quote is saying. Even in the clutter, find reasons to be grateful. Find simplicity inside that. You don't label that as clutter. Find that there is simplicity even in the clutter. Like, for example, you see our life, right? You see the way in general things are happening in the world and all of those things. It is all in some random fashion, it is all happening. But there is definitely an order in that fashion also. There is always simplicity in that also. But we don't know, we can't understand. From discord, find harmony. In the middle of a difficulty, there is always an opportunity. Every single invention, every single discovery was made because they saw a problem somewhere. And then they saw, they put their creative mind, they put their positivity into that, and then they saw opportunity, and then they worked on that opportunity, and then they created a solution to that. So every single problem creates some other creation. So that is how the universe is constantly expanding and expanding and expanding. If everybody thought about the same thing, if everybody agreed on everything, then this universe wouldn't have expanded at all, which is what duality is all about. There is a problem means somebody is sad about that problem. Somebody else was happy about that problem and they made it a business opportunity. So it brought good in somebody else's life, it brought bad in somebody else's life. So this is what is called duality. And it is always 50-50. Okay. You try to remove negativity from the world, it will never happen. because there is no sense of balance and duality. In the duality world, you can never do that. You can literally tear your life up and down and talk about plastic, talk about let's say animal suffering and all of those things. In fact, you are bringing all that into your life. If you're able to talk good about all that, then it is not going to be like that. You will actually put a whole lot of appreciation in this whole system. And if you don't like the system, get beyond the system. Go beyond duality. If you want so much of good in life, then go beyond duality. In duality, don't expect all these 5-star treatment. So if you want 5-star treatment, be willing to put that effort, be willing to put that energy and everything to get beyond duality. 5-star is there. 7-star is there. If you are in 3-star hotel, don't expect 5-star results. If your mind is consumed with too many details, the little details will distract you and pull you down. You can't be single-minded about feeling good if you're chasing your tail over small details that really don't matter. Right? So these are things that we'll have to apply in our life. What difference does it make if you get your clothes into the dry cleaners before they close? Really, it is just what we want to do. Like, for example, I was thinking in the bathroom, if there is maybe some hair here and there and all that, or maybe some marks, leg marks or something like that, black marks, whatever, wherever we stood, right? In the I'm still doing it. Like I'm putting water and all that, and I'm cleaning it. And of course, once in a week also we clean the bathroom. I was thinking, what is this in between the week? Just because I have this belief system, there is a likes and dislikes. Okay, I'm observing myself. Oh, I have this like that the bathroom has to be clean. I have to remove all those footprint marks or maybe little hair or something like that, and then keep cleaning it. It is because of the like that I have, right? And imagine just for that like to get satisfied, I'm putting water, using extra water I'm consuming from the universe. But does it really matter if I just leave it as it is? Nothing will change, right? So this is what we are talking about. It doesn't really matter if you get your clothes into the dry cleaning before they close. What difference does it make to your life if your sports team didn't win this week? There's always a next week. What difference does it make if you miss the bus? What difference does it make if the grocery store has run out of oranges? What difference does it make if you maybe miss packing your child's dabba someday and she missed going to the school early someday? Or so there are so many questions that we may have to ask, and only when we are able to notice where all we have all of these ups and
Smita, I
downs.
did not understand this paragraph. Can you please explain again?
See, basically, what are the fussing? What all do we fuss about? Hamara raag dvesh kahan pe hai? Where is our likes and dislikes? And why do you like all that? Like you told somebody, right? I didn't send him for sports team. Sorry, I didn't send him for yoga. Why didn't you send him for yoga?
Because I thought he will roam.
I'm not asking you for justification. I'm just saying you have some belief system there. Jata tha kya hota? Let him go. What will happen? You have a feeling that if he stays back, maybe he will learn something. But if he goes, he'll probably miss some classes. Something else will be there as a part of our explanation. All that is ego. But what she's trying to tell is, what difference does it make if he goes or if he stays? Who are you to question some of those things? Why are you controlling all these things? See, you're a teacher, you may get so many such issues in your life, situations in your life. But then you only should question your own actions, is what this paragraph is saying. Find out why you do some of these things, why there is so much of fussiness about, let's say, keeping the house clean, or let's say arranging the table like this only, or yeah, this has to be like this only in our house, or people have to go to school only in time. We have so many of these society rules, right? Belief systems. Why should it be there? You should question yourself, is what she's asking. What difference does it make if it's there or if it doesn't there, if it's not there? This is where we control, this is where we waste energy, which is what they're trying to point out. Small details distract you and they can sabotage your life. If you give too much of importance to unnecessary details, you will not feel good. None of those things matter in the whole scheme of things or life. None of them. Simplify your life. Do it to protect your good feelings. Do it. Because when you get rid of the small details, you create space for everything you want to pour in your life. This is what is called minimalism. Minimalism means you are not going into every single little detail, trying to accumulate all these. This is also accumulation only, okay? Fussiness is also accumulation only. I'm not saying that I am rid of all these things. I'm also there. Okay, when I'm teaching here, it doesn't mean that I'm perfect. Even I am learning with you, and because even I have to practice all these things, right? And practice is where we actually learn and get that wisdom, that light that I was talking about. That comes only with practice, not with knowledge. I may have that intuitive connection with my own soul. I may get all that wisdom, but how does it matter if I don't even apply that in my life? If I'm still battling my ego and all those things, but I'm still not able to apply that in my life, I'm still on square one only. There is no change. There is no use. Right? We have to, that ego has to actually want to do it. You means what? In this, as of now, your ego only. So you still have to do it. You have to do it because you have to get to that soul state. Unless you want to get to that soul state, you will never go there. You will always be sticking in the little details. You give life meaning. You give the meaning to everything in life. No situation comes with a label of good or bad. Everything is neutral. We spoke about this, right? Everything is neutral. See, by the time she's writing these kind of paragraphs, and initially we saw she is given a whole lot of manifestations. She's given a whole lot of visualizations. All of these things are majorly duality related aspects for people who are probably still wanting to do all that. But then she herself is already in that oneness state. And she believes. Why is she able to get to that state of love? Because she let go of her ego. And who lets go of ego? Only when a person believes that everything in my life is coming to me because it's good for me. And she's applying that in her life. Although she has written books for every single person. Everybody can take different interpretations. Like I am taking gratitude classes from my teacher. And then she's teaching to a lot of people who are wanting to do manifestations, physical, like conscious manifestations. I want this in life. I want a better husband in life. I want a better this in life, better that in life. She's teaching all those things. So maybe she's not in that state at all because she is already on the path, soul realization path. So like this, I may be coming here and then I may be telling all these things, but I'm not doing, I'm following the path of surrender only in every aspect of my life. I want to do at least. I may still be using my ego in many areas where I'm not even aware, but definitely that is my chosen path. So like this, you have to be on a certain path and you have to keep going forward and practice. Very much, very important. You give the meaning to everything in life. No situation comes with a label of good or bad. Everything is neutral. A rainbow and a thunderstorm are not good or bad. They are just a rainbow and a thunderstorm. You give the meaning to rainbow and how you feel about it. You give the meaning to thunderstorm by how you feel about it. You give the meaning to everything by the way you feel about it. A job is not good or bad. It is just a job. But how you feel about the job determines whether it will be good or bad for you. A relationship is not good or bad in itself. It's just a relationship. But how you feel good about a relationship determines whether it will be good or bad for you. Nothing is either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Which is why we are saying you are thinking. It is your belief system that is giving, making it good or bad. If somebody scolds you, you can feel good about it or you can feel bad about it. Hey, how can somebody scold me and I can feel good about it? Because if you have the practice of gratitude, you will constantly be looking at what is this giving me? What is this teaching me? And those kinds of things, which means you're still feeling good that somebody is scolding me. And there's a good opportunity for me to understand what is the learning in situations where somebody is scolding me. Instead of saying, why did he scold me? He's always like this. He's always having some bad intentions about me. All of those things. So how you perceive the world depends on how much light you are anchoring. If your anchoring light is less, your ego will be more, right? So it's like you can see yourself and say how much you are in ego and how much you are not in ego. And you can constantly measure yourself like this. How much I need to still anchor that light, how much I'm able to surrender to life, all that. Neither is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. If some harm, William Shakespeare, if somebody harms another person, the law of attraction responds unfailingly. It may use police or laws or any number of ways to give back the person exactly what they gave. But one thing is certain, with the law of attraction, we receive back what we give. If you hear someone being harmed or another person feel compassion for the person being harmed, you don't judge anyone. Like you should never judge a person who's harming another person. It looks that it is bad, but this person may have harmed the other person in some past life. I mean, see, both to you as an observer, this person and this person both are your reflections only. He hitting him, or he taking that abuse, it is just a message for you. Whether he hit him or he hit him, you are still going to judge these two people, right? Which is what you have to understand. Yes, I still have judgment. When people get into clashes like this, I'm actually getting into a mode of judgment instead of basically saying, okay, like law is balancing themselves out, so I'll just mind my business. If you hear of someone being harmed by another person, feel compassion for the person harmed, but don't judge anyone. If you judge someone and think that they are bad, you are not giving love. So watch your feelings. Are you willing to go and take any experience in your life and drop down to negative state? Then this is where you need to work on. And in thinking that someone else is bad, you have in effect labeled yourself as bad. Whatever you give, you receive. See, if you call him bad, you are bad. You're telling this body and this mind, you are bad, you are bad, you are bad. If you judge them, you are judging yourself. I've seen many people do gratitude, and the whole day I've seen people judging also. Judging, gossiping, all of those things. Where will it go? It will all balance out. All the energy that is earned with gratitude will go off like this. It is very, very important that you practice what you preach. Preach means when that person is doing gratitude, that is his preaching. His inner guidance is preaching him to be grateful even in all those situations. So it is how you have to practice. When you give out bad feelings about someone else, no matter what they have done, those bad feelings come back to you. They come back to you with the same force you sent it out, creating negative circumstances in your life, which are no excuses for the force of love. There are no excuses for the force of love. See, there is love in that also. The Creator loves us so much. Creator means your own soul loves you so much, so that it is helping you bring that situation where you acted out of ego, so that you can at least choose to act out of your soul state as of now. If you don't behave in your soul state even now, it will keep coming, it will keep coming, it will keep coming, so that you can get more and more opportunities to rectify that aspect that you did not work and send love to. So now you have sent gratitude. You have elevated yourself so much. But over time, the same things where you send gratitude is going to come in front of you, and then you will actually give love. And there it will get completed. Then the equation gets completed. Until then, it will not get completed. Even gratitude will not complete. It will make it feel good, that's all. Things will go well, but it will not finish off that karmic state. Karmic state will start going only when there is highest form of unconditional love that is given to that each of those areas. The life that goes out in love to all life is the life that is full, rich, and continuously expanding in beauty and in power. Ralph Waldo, something. Okay, love is the power. Shall I finish it off? Shall I finish off this chapter?
Yeah, it will take time.
It will take time.
I have.
You have this, and then you have the
points of power. This is the last.
No, summary also, no?
So
End of the chapter.
Where is this?
There is 2 more pages.
3 pages.
Yeah.
4 pages roughly.
Yeah. Points of power
This is
is
next,
also
this
there.
is next chapter which Anita will take.
Maybe.
So I can finish it off if you are there, if you are okay. Weekly until 5:30.
We can.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Then questions.
Question and answers. Maybe you can send it on the group and maybe I'll answer. You can send a voice message or something in the group.
Okay. One more. Then, up to 5:30 only we'll do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
The force of love has no opposite. There is no other power because the force of love sees everything in balance, right? It is all oneness. Good and bad are both one. So there is nothing opposite to everything. If everything is connected, everything is in the same state, then there is no opposite at all. In duality, you see opposite. Good has a bad, bad has a good. But in that oneness state, there is no opposite at all. There is no other power in life but love. There isn't a force of negativity. In ancient times, negativity was something described as the devil or the evil. Being tempted by evil or the devil simply meant being tempted to fall into negative thoughts and feelings rather than standing firm in the positive force of love. There is no force of negativity. There is only one force, and that force is love. All the negative things you see in the world are always manifestations of a lack of love. Whether there is negativity in a person, place, circumstance, or event, it has always come from a lack of love. There isn't a force of sadness. Sadness is the lack of happiness. And all happiness comes from love. There isn't a force of failure. Failure is the lack of success. And all success comes from love. So what she's saying is all that you see as bad in your life is basically lack of love in that space. So start putting gratitude to that space. Over time, you will get to a state of bringing love to that place. Okay. We can't go to love until we are able to actually feel grateful there. There isn't a force of poverty. Poverty is lack of abundance, and all abundance comes from love. Love is the positive force of life, and any negative condition always comes from a lack of love. When people reach the tipping point of giving more love than negativity, then we will see negativity vanish from the planet at a rapid rate. It doesn't mean that you are still in duality and negativity vanished. It can never happen. It means that you have risen to a higher dimension where there is no negativity. Okay, this you must understand very clearly. In your current dimension, where you are where you see good and bad and all that in your life, you are in the state of duality. You are in a mindset, or that energy that you carry or the frequency that you are vibrating at is a third dimensional state. In that third dimensional state, there is always duality and it is 50-50. If you want a better state, you need to rise higher. In that state, what she's saying, negativity will vanish from the planet means you are here. You are standing here and looking at the world. Your perspective is from here. So from here, you will never see negativity. That is the very important thing. You will never see negativity. You are standing on the same earth as other people. Like, let's say I might be in the 7th dimension, somebody might be in the 5th dimension, somebody might be in the 3rd dimension. We are all standing in the same planet Earth together only. It is all the state of mind that we are talking about. So you will never see negativity around you because you are constantly working on yourself, rather constantly giving. So that giving love has to become so conscious, and it has to be unconditional love. We will, and see such people, right? I don't know, we've heard about such people, right? Like Babaji, we've heard about Babaji, we've heard about so many such masters. Maybe we've heard about Krishna, all of those people, Jesus, right? They talk about so much of love. Like when you go to him itself, when you go around him, there used to be so much of love that people used to look at him and they would start healing because his aura was full of love. And that overlapping his aura itself, that love used to get sucked up inside the people's, their own aura, and wherever there was lack of love in that itself, it used to go off. So it means that you need to start rising yourself to that state. The state will not come to you. Every single time you choose to give love, your love is helping to tip the entire world into positivity. See, when we talk about Earth going to her fifth dimension state, which means her energy has gone to oneness state. It is it's actually happening in July, August kind of thing. So, which is why we see a lot of changes in our health and all of these areas. So, when she's going to her highest state, how did she even get to that state? Because of the collective planet energy. When people are meditating a lot, when people are practicing positivity a lot and all that, where is this going? It's that collective energy that is actually helping her move higher, which means that the energy on earth collectively at a soul, all the soul contribution, sun contribution, every contribution, river contribution, all that entire contribution is so high that earth was able to get to that oneness state naturally after so many thousands of years. So wherever we are, let's say I may have contributed 10%, somebody else may have contributed 50%, whatever percentage we have contributed, whatever light contribution we have contributed to make that collective cumulative thing. But I myself, I'm still at the level of duality because I myself had to get to that state. Collectively, anyway, she got to that state because she represents that collective. But we don't represent collective, no, we are representing still ourselves only. So we need to work ourselves and get to that state. The more the gap between that Earth's frequency and our frequency is higher, the suffering is higher, which means the experiences that we get will be far more severe and intense so that we can work harder and harder. So here only gratitude and compassion and kindness towards ourselves is very important. If you are fighting with ego, you will lose the battle because the difference is very high. You cannot win the battle of ego, especially when the energy is very high. Because the force of that energy to get to that state for you, there's a lot of pressure. When the heart is set right, then the personal life is cultivated. When the personal life is cultivated, then the home life is regulated. When the home life is regulated, then the national life is in orderly. When the national life is in orderly, then the world is at peace. Confiscus. You have so much of power in the world because you have so much of love to give. So the world depends on how much of, if you are in the center, if the world represents you only, right? It's like ripples. From here, the ripples will keep going like this. Have you seen Ola? Okay, once you book in Ola, you said book, confirm booking. Then what will happen? All these ripples will keep going like this, right? Searching for auto or searching for cars. That is what is actually going to happen in reality. Once you take a decision, once you bring a thought, once you bring an emotion, it is all going like this. Who wants to receive this new vibration that has been released by Smita, right? Somebody who's in the same frequency, then they will receive and then you will start having fights with them because I wasn't fighting. Okay, points of power. Everything has a frequency, everything. And whatever you're feeling is bringing everything into your life. That's on a similar frequency to you. Life is responding to you. Okay, responding to you means you have actually sent out some question or sent out some ask or something like that. Then it is responding to you by giving it. Life is communicating with you. Everything you see, every color, sign, person, object, everything you hear, every circumstances, event are on your frequency. If you don't like it, it means that your frequency is lower. When you are feeling happy and you feel happy and you keep feeling happy, then only happy people, circumstances, and events can come into your life. There are no accidents or coincidences in life. Everything is synchronicity because everything has a frequency. It simply is the law, is the physics of life and the universe in action. Think of something you love and make it your symbol of force of love. Whenever you see a symbol or hear it, you will know that the force of love is within you. It's just a reminder. Place the force of love ahead of you in everything you do. Imagine each thing in your life going well and feel the love inside yourself as much as you can before you do anything else. Ask questions every single day. When you ask a question, you are giving a question and you must receive an answer. Harness the force of love to help you with anything in your life. The force of love will be your personal assistant, money manager, trainer, relationship counselor, everything, because answers are coming. when your mind is consumed with, see, one thing that you have to remember is, let's say you go and ask somebody else the question. Okay, let's say you get some answers. You are actually not understanding that somebody else in front of you to whom you are asking a question is actually a reflection of yourself, which means you asked somebody the question and that somebody is a reflection of yourself and you got the answer from within yourself. Okay, there is nobody else. It is just you. If I'm talking to so many of my clients and they heal and all that, actually I am only healing. I am only healing a part of myself. And so that interaction is actually I'm interacting with myself. So it is all about you interacting with yourself, you getting answers from yourself, all of that. Because the ego believes that somebody else has answers, the situation is such that somebody else is giving you the answers. But once the ego starts believing that the answers will come from inside me, then you will never find a person who will actually give you the answers. In my life, my whole life has been trained, at least since the time I was sick, I have been trained to not have anybody in my life who will actually help me. So because I've lost the touch of asking somebody else for answers or help or something like that, I also, even when I want it, I will not find people who can help me. And it's a one-off thing when I want, I feel lonely. I'll not feel like anybody will be able to understand what I feel and all that. And then I'll only keep asking questions. I'll keep asking questions from inside. Someday answers will come. And that is a practice that it has developed in my life. So like that, we should understand that when I'm asking somebody something, then I'm actually communicating with myself. Like we all have some habits where we say, let's say something happens in our life and we want to share it with somebody. We are actually sharing it with ourselves only. And the reaction that they give is a reaction that we are, which belief system is there inside ourselves only. We are only not sure about the enormous subconscious beliefs that we have. So I'm just telling you all these things so that you can be more aware. You may not remember, you may remember, that's a secondary thing, but just be aware that you are alone. And if you interact with somebody else, if you hurt somebody else, if you judge somebody else, if you blame somebody else, if you complain about somebody else, you are doing it to yourself. You are causing harm to yourself. If your mind is, and you can't go and correct your children and expect that they will change. Why? Because you are also rigid inside. You see rigid children, you see fussy children or something like that because you are fussy inside and they are just a reflection of you. Obviously, you can't go correct them, no, because you have not corrected your belief system and your fussiness inside. So they will keep reflecting, oh, my children doesn't listen to me at all. How much ever I try, they don't listen to me. But how does gratitude help? And then how come suddenly they change? Because you have tried to reduce your ego and then you are trying to bring more light. And the person who's more in light will also be able to address some of those areas in their life. They will start to ease out some of the things. They'll start to see gratitude in the child who's not listening also. If your mind is consumed with too many details, the details will distract you and you pull you down. Simplify your life and don't give too much of importance to the little details. Without, what difference does it make? Like one of the meditation teachers that I constantly go to is, she keeps saying, bhag dod mat kare, bhag dod mat kare, bhag dod mat karo, bhag dod mat karo. All this bhag dod means all this one. Don't keep running here and there. Go here, go to this class, go to that class, go to, see how many of our classes we go to. Ultimately, if we are not practicing anything in our life, it's a waste only, no. Like I said, I'm getting everything, but how much of practice I put, that much only results I'm going to get, no. So what difference does it make? The force of love has no opposite. There is no other power in life but love. All the negative things we see in the world are always a lack of love. Okay, we will not do the daily teachings today. Any questions? We can take quickly 2-3 questions and then we'll be done.
Smita, bhag daud na kare, it is, or being in love is something like to be in the present movement, because if we'll be in the present moment, then we'll love to do, but if we are loving the things, whatever we are doing in the present moment, that means we'll be in love, right?
We may be in the present moment, but we may still not be in love.
So what is the meaning of love? How to give a love? Like she has
We will not be able to
What is
understand love unless you have done enough gratitude in that area.
Okay.
It is, see, if you've seen that feeling chart, you remember the feeling chart?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, in the
Sometimes
feeling
it
chart,
comes.
in the feeling
Yeah.
chart, love is higher than gratitude.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's a state that we cannot discuss. Like how when people say, "Oh, I'm self-realization happened, samadhi state happened," and all, can they even talk about it? They can't even express those kind of happiness that they feel. Satchit Anand, who has explained Satchit Anand so far? Not many people. They've tried to put words to all that, but they've never been able to explain that. That is what is called love. It like highest form of love. That is even highest form of love. Unconditional love.
And asking question is somewhat surrendering. Like, no.
Asking question is a form of belief which says, yes, I know the answer. It is inside me only. Let it come. Let it come from inside me. I'll wait for it, kind of thing.
Okay. Okay.
Smita, I have one question. Like you said, na, ki if the bathroom is unclean, let it be. What's the difference it will make if I let it go? If I will not do this, what the difference? So, Smita, in this way, we are like if we will let go the everything, nothing will make any difference in our life. But there are certain areas in which there is necessity to do all these things.
No, we will get to that state, Pooja. It will come to that state. But when we are not in that state, we cannot accept those things.
Like
I just gave you an example. See, she was already in love, no. So for her, some of these little things did not matter because she's able to see the big picture.
Like if I if I left my bathroom unclean today, it doesn't make any difference. But the person who is seeing, other person who sees it, he will judge it, or he will say ki, see, the bathroom is unclean. It's so unhygiene to remain the bathroom is unclean. So these are some of the things that we should practice it.
Should practice it, kuch bhi nahi hai. When you talk, let's analyze whatever you told only. Now, let's say you are not cleaning the bathroom. Now, there is some other person who's going to talk about the unclean bathroom. Who is that other person?
Not some other person. If I don't like that unclean bathroom,
Because you don't clean it. You tried not cleaning it, but there is one guilt inside saying, I didn't clean. That guilt is going to get reflected in somebody else coming and tell you haven't cleaned. And again, that is going to confirm and say, see, I didn't clean. That's why they came and told me I did not clean, which is why I have to clean all the time. So law of attraction is responding to your feelings and your belief systems. You are alone, Pooja. There is nobody else that you need to analyze in your situations.
so it means if someday I left anything, and if at that moment I am not feeling to do that thing, and if I left untidy, or if I left unattended to that thing at that moment, and afterward also I am not feeling to do it, let it be to do tomorrow. And inside me, if I felt guilty, oh, I haven't done this work today. So, what does it mean that I am feeling guilty because of myself, or because of the work I haven't done?
Because there is no proper belief system that it's okay, that it is not, it doesn't really matter. For example, I'll tell you, my daughter, let's say there is some dust, let's say some food fell on the ground. Okay. What do? We go and typically wash that, let's say piece of apple fell on the ground. What do? We wash that piece of apple and then we put it in our mouth. She'll put it off like that only in her mouth. Then I'm like, hey, what are you doing? Wash it. Then she says, Mama, little dust did not harm anyone, Amma. That is her attitude. Why? Because she thinks, she really believes little dust doesn't harm anyone. It is a belief. Yours has not converted to a belief. You're just still trying it because the book told it. Okay, we are talking about beliefs. Belief means you actually believe it. As of now, you believe the bathroom has to be cleaned. Yeah, even I believe bathroom has to be cleaned. And even I enjoy cleaning it every weekend. Even I enjoy. I still haven't left it. No, I see, bathroom was just an example. When you take this concept of what difference does it make, then you can ask yourself a question when, like, for example, I have a habit to ensure that the kitchen is completely clean before I sleep, because I don't like to come back to a dirty kitchen in the morning. That is a preference. But let's say when I was with my mother-in-law, she would say, it's okay, morning we will clean. But for me, even if it's 12 o'clock in the night, I have to clean the kitchen only and then sleep. Why? What happens if it doesn't come in what happens if I come back in the morning and clean? This ego will feel bad, that's all. The ego
So
is
it's
trying to
like,
protect itself.
like you said,
Nothing
that,
else will happen. You'll just go clean the next day, that's all. But you wanted to feel good. That is why you are wanting to do it in the night only.
it means it's your ego only that you want to clean it. Right now,
Yeah.
only it's your ego is saying that.
Yeah, because your ego believes that you will actually feel very bad when you don't do. Because there's a belief system that has already formed. How that belief system was formed, that is anyway a different topic together. We'll just say there's a belief system. The ego wants to feel good. The ego wants to feel good. Wherever you want to feel happy and you control life the way you want to control.
Like sometimes we also command our children also to do this, do that. So it's
We do
only
know.
our ego only.
Yes, it's our ego only. Like when I was living with my in-laws, they would say, you have to keep it on the table. You should not keep it on your hand. You should not keep the table plate on your lap. Of course, they had some reasons. But over time, what happened? We came separately and then I became more liberal. Now, whether they keep it on their lap, whether they keep it on their table, whether they keep it on their hand, it did not matter. But even then also, there are some things that matters. I would tell, why have you kept all the, let's say they would serve something on in the kitchen and then they would leave everything open and go. I would ask them, why have you left everything open? See, who am I asking? I'm asking myself only. Why did they leave open? Who knows? There's some connection in my own belief system. Maybe I'm also leaving things unattended. Maybe there are some things where I'm actually leaving them open-ended, which is why my daughters are showing me and leaving all these things open and going. See, there is always something to learn in self only. And that journey is all about discovering ourselves only. Those people cannot be changed. And we can be, like I said, there are so many things we have to discover ourselves only when we have the focus of looking at life like this.
It means the whole life we have to focus on our journey. It's the whole life journey.
Yeah. This is not the first life that you've taken. God knows how many lives you've taken. Your soul. After puja body, God knows how many bodies we want. So it's just a self-discovering. Like I said, on that small 5% of light has been attached to the body, right? That 5% has to become 100%. That is when it is called self-realization. That 5% realized itself that I am an Atma. Until then, it was thinking I am ego.
Like Smita, you have given the example of that small piece of apple had fallen, and you told you command Kiki, you ask your daughter why you have eaten without washing it. So in this way, there are many areas in which we interrupt our children. So it means what? Ki we should not interrupt them or we should not command, or we should not make them right.
See, what I would say is, tell them, but don't have expectations that they will follow, is what I'm saying. I think you've asked this question in the past also, and the same answer I've given. Expectations. I expected them to wash it, no? But then she didn't wash. And then because I was aware, I was able to let it go. Okay, fine. A little dust doesn't harm anybody, she says. She's slightly wild only. Compared to my older one, she's slightly wild. Like not so fussy about her hygiene and all that. Like, oh, this should be like this only, that should be like this only, that kind of thing is not there. She's more like bindas kind of thing. And I am learning to let go of my expectations from her that she has to behave in a certain way and all that. And like I said, she's a great teacher in my life. I've learned to let go of so many things because of her only. Challenges come. We have to learn from that. Only provided we think that we are the problem. Rather, we have the focus. Okay. Any other questions, or we can close?
Related to the same question, there are some situations like we have to matlab, to control somebody, like the example of my student only. Because if I would allow him to roam, the principal will question me, "Ki it was your period and why is
That
he
is an
roaming
assumption. No, you have already gone to the future and you think that the principal is going to question. But do you really know that if that situation happened? It may have happened in the past, but will it happen in the future? Who knows? Maybe your state of mind will, when you are in surrender and all of those things, maybe law of attraction will bring something else to you.
And maybe that situation will not occur also.
Yeah, situation may not occur at all. We don't know unless you go through that experience only. No, you will never, you will see, till now it is only an assumption that this is going to happen, that is going to happen, which is why we keep doing all these things. It is a form of protection. Ego is meant to protect you because you are not in your soul state. Its job is to protect you. Protection means not from tiger, death and all that. Of late, where we have all that situations, we only have all these emotions only. We are trying to protect ourselves from feeling bad, from feeling sad and all that. So ego is trying to cover up all that.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, friends. Thank you so much for being here. It means a lot to learn a lot of these things. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Bye. Bye. Take care.
Thank you.